Sorry that I dug this out so late tonight, especially for you.
Oh. I was like, when are you going to get to the thing?
On a night like this.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. But I feel like, our two hearts are beating together. I'm
in love. Woo. It worked.
I should be so lucky. That's what I could probably keep going.
I should be so lucky to get through this little vignette.
Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristin.
And this is So I'm Watching This Show, your twice weekly pop culture podcast where we talk about movies, TV, music, and Kylie Minogue.
Woo!
As always, this is a spoiler show, but there's nothing to spoil. On today's show...
Unless you are woefully ignorant of the wonderful, deep catalog of Kylie Minogue.
So most people.
Yeah. So we're spoiling an entire 30-plus year career for you.
We have been threatening this I have been threatening this episode.
This is a you thing.
Since July of 18.
Mm-hmm.
I love Kylie Minogue. And the Americans don't.
Americans don't understand.
They don't even really know who she is. And we're actually, it pains me because for a while people would at least know. And I'd be like, they can't get you out of my head. And they'd be like, oh yeah. But we've reached a point where people don't know that anymore.
Well, we've reached a point.
The children don't know that song anymore.
We've reached a point where a garbage person has eclipsed her with her name. Which is infuriating.
A secondary character on her family's
reality TV show.
Do you remember the lawsuit? How they came for her?
Well, because she tried to trademark her name.
The name Kylie.
Unacceptable.
Oh yeah, for all of you who clicked on this thinking that we're talking about Kylie Jenner.
Kylie Minogue. It will say Kylie Minogue.
No, I know. I was preparing for this within an inch of my life, and Kristin had to sit me down and be like, "Look."
It would get into this and then she did this thing.
I was trying to distill everything into a tight 82 minutes.
That's not tight. That's not, also it's 10:49 at night right now and I'm exhausted. So we're going to get through this, but it's not going to be 80
Well, basically, I feel better about this now that we are on YouTube because I think it sort of opens us up to a slightly broader audience.
Sure.
And so I think maybe we have the capacity of reaching some English or Australian, European, whatever fans.
Sure.
So it's what we decided.
Where Kylie Minogue is appreciated.
Yeah. So what we decided to do is just sort of have a broad conversation. And if we get anything, if this goes anywhere, then we can do some more specific, deeper dives into the eras.
I think I'm going to want to talk about disco.
That also is the elephant in the room is that disco is out today. We will probably talk about it in some form.
I mean, I like the first three singles a lot. So that's at least a lot.
Kylie was brought to my attention through the global smash 2001.
Oh,
you can't get you out of my head.
The Locomotion.
Well, I didn't know that I knew that.
Oh, okay.
My mom did, but that was years into her career and my infatuation with her. Sure. My mom was like, "She's the Locomotion girl."
Oh, okay.
That they used to do jazzercise too.
Yeah.
I remember because in 2001, MTV played music videos in the morning. So I was getting up, going, getting ready for school.
Yeah.
And they would play that song. And I really liked it. It got stuck in my head. And it was gradual. I can remember it was one of those sort of
Would you say you couldn't get it out of it?
I couldn't.
Well, and meanwhile, over at my house where my dad was a miser and wouldn't pay for cable, we got illegal Much Music on our upstairs.
Yeah, but that's better
TV.
Because they would play actual Kylie.
So I this one, and there was that one Red Hot Chili Peppers song, and then some Samantha Mumba, and it was like S Club 7. Those are the things that I listen to in the morning.
So I was in, and I got the CD Fever, and I liked it. It didn't have a particularly strong hold on me, but I can distinctly remember listening to it that spring driving down to Disney World because I really liked Butterfly, which was a bonus track.
Oh.
And actually, jumping forward a little bit, we have had the privilege and pleasure of seeing her live.
We have
and
indeed.
she did a section where she asked someone for a request from the audience, and the person requested Butterfly. Oh. And she was like, deep cut, because it wasn't even an album track. Yeah. It was like, and I remember, and I was so excited because I knew it. I was like, oh my God, that's mine. But I loved Can't Get You Out of My Head, and I loved Love at First Sight.
That's a good one.
I said while we watched videos to prep for this, and I was like, God tier.
Yeah, it's very good.
It's probably...
It is funny watching people who have spanned so many eras of like the world, because she started out in the late 80s and it's like very 80s and it's very Australian. And then you get into the 90s and there's a little bit of like Vogue, like influence and a little of the like, you know, Calvin Klein heroin chic and stuff. And then you get into the 2000s and it is just the Wild West as far as fashion and like hair and makeup and stuff go, because in that video she is wearing, they're orange, right?
Yellow,
like neon yellow, pointy,
like acid yellow,
pointy stilettos, huge cargo pants with her lacy underwear straps up so you can see them, and then a tank top with the bra strap so you can see it, and then she's got big gold K earrings, and then a line of eyeshadow around the eye. It's
like a strip.
Yeah, it's very funny the way that, because she looks
and the
amazing.
Coach whistle.
Yeah. She obviously looks amazing, but it's like, that is a look that you're attempting to pull off.
It's so beautiful, and it's so because Can't Get You Out of My Head is real funky. It's really kind of like a groovy song.
Yeah.
And Love at First Sight was the first time that I got a glimpse to what I consider Kylie.
Sure.
Because I do think she's a little bit at war with herself. She goes back and forth between like sex, like sex pot, and then like this like sort of fairy godmother, like,
but there's also sometimes
I believe
like,
in you, like there's
also a really like sweet innocent ingenue sometimes too. It is a little strange. I don't know that I would say she's at war with herself, but I would say,
well, because she's balanced them brilliantly. But
yeah, for me, I think she's like really, really, really into too many genres. Like, I think she personally really, really, really likes
music,
all of music. And I think she can't pick one. So it just all happens. And I think it's great because that's kind of rare. But I think I don't necessarily think she's at war with herself. I think she just wants to do everything.
I've referenced it a few times on our show, but I remember reading an essay that Rufus Wainwright wrote back in like 2002 or something, and he was breaking down like the pop girls, and I just remember that he tiered at the top. It was Madonna and Kylie Minogue, and he called Madonna the bloody red queen to Kylie's white queen.
Yeah.
And that just really resonated with me, and that really informed how I saw her. And she really is just sort of this beacon of just light and positivity and joy, to the point where the darkest she goes, save for Where the Wild Roses Grow.
That is that's not so much dark as it's like, I know that it's Nick Cave, but I almost feel like it should have been Elliott Smith. Like, it's just like, ugh.
Oh, well, I'm like fairly certain that it's about necrophilia.
It might be.
The video is. The video certainly is.
Nick Cave is fucking her for sure.
Fucking that corpse.
She's more beautiful than any woman I've seen. I said, do you know where the wild roses grow? So sweet and scarlet and free.
On the second day he came with a single red rose. He said, give me your loss and your sorrow. I nodded my head as I lay on the bed.
Well, aside from that, her darker impulses are the more, like I said, sex pot stuff. and which she really leaned into in the 2000s.
That was the 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
it was really funny to me, because I haven't seen a lot of the really old videos. I don't know how much you've watched Giada De Laurentiis on the cooking channel.
yeah.
If you ever catch the really, really early episodes, she is uncomfortable. She like doesn't want to be on camera. She's like, why am I doing this? This is horrible. You can tell that she's like stone faced. It looks like she's not having a good time. And I can't go so far as to say that about Kylie, because she always looks like she's having a good time, but she was like 20. And so there's a lot of like, oh, and like,
well,
oh.
she was a soap opera actress.
Yeah. Oh, you can tell.
And they sort of just, she was popular on this particular Neighbors. It was like a really popular soap.
I think it's still on.
Is it still on? And they just sort of came to her and were like, how about a record deal? And she was like, sure, why not? And so the first one or two.
You remember when that's the way things happened?
The first like one or two records, she was just kind of like, okay. And she sort of fell into it. And so there's distinct points where you can tell she starts actually caring about the artistry.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first album, she was just like, she could carry a tune. And
it's like Robin Sparkles. It's like, let's go to the mall. It's very...
And she's not necessarily, like, she's not known for her vocal prowess. Like, she's not really like a powerhouse vocalist.
I think she's great. I think her voice is great.
Mm-hmm. Well, and she's really leaned into it, because those first few songs, they don't sound like her.
No.
It's like the first Britney album, where it's like they're really sort of like
just get really breathy. We don't want to hear your voice.
No, the opposite for the first Britney album.
Oh,
it's
you
the
think? Oh, the Star Search nonsense. Yeah.
And no, she didn't get breathy till In the Zone. The oh man. But yeah, even the like Kylie's vocals in the earlier stuff is way more throaty.
Yeah.
But so anyways, going back to my journey with it all, the fever sort of came and went, and I do have a very distinct memory because I saw Moulin Rouge and I was super into, it, and I loved the Green Fairy, and I have a very distinct memory of like in 2002 or something seeing Kylie on TRL, and Carson Daly was like the Green Fairy herself. And he was like, wow, you're so tiny. They didn't even have to do any special effects for you.
Oh,
and
Carson Daly.
And I was like, she's not the Green Fairy. I watched the behind the scenes stuff. I was like, the Green Fairy was some Australian actress named Kylie Minogue. And I realized it was the Australian accents that I didn't understand. So that was a plus. But the main thing was that round about this time, I got into European music.
Oh,
and
that's
I started buying
all
the European Now CDs and stuff. And so I became aware that she was a presence in Europe. And so I think that was a primary thing of my early liking her, is I got to feel a little bit pretentious by liking this like, this European pop star. And like, I thought of it as kind of sophisticated, even though like Eurotrash is a thing. And it's like very discotheque. But I was really into it. And these were the days of Kazaa. So I was downloading stuff. I remember she did like an Agent Provocateur commercial.
Did she?
Oh, it's super trashy. She gets on. I should see if we can pull it.
Yeah, pull it.
She gets on a mechanical bull. They're trying to prove it's the sexiest lingerie in the world.
Bring in a mechanical bull.
It like ran in movie theaters. And so she gets on the mechanical bull and they like do this whole thing. And then she like asks the men to stand up.
Would all the men in the audience stand up? No.
Oh.
And it was like it was very of its time.
That is very, that's like, so, we actually just mentioned Emily in Paris before we started recording this. There's like a commercial that they're shooting for perfume, and it's like all of these men watching this woman walk across the River Seine totally nude, and it's like she's only wearing the perfume, and it's just like, no, they can't resist her and all this stuff, and it's just like, that's not sexy, and it also doesn't make any sense. Sexy commercials are weird.
But yeah, and so then I remember Slow came out. I was working at Sam Goody at the time, and so
you had the access to the stuff.
I did. And actually, also weirdly with Body Language, I was just okay with the album. I thought it was mostly just fine. I liked the singles. I like Slow. I like Red Blooded Woman. I love Chocolate.
You prove
I remember Ryan Seacrest was like, when Slow debuted on his, like, he was still doing the radio show, and he was like, this song's going to be a smash hit, like, blah, blah, blah. And like, nothing happened.
It probably was a smash hit in Europe.
Well, the thing that cemented it for me was when we were in Disney World in 2004, and I got the Now CD, and it had I Believe in You on it. And that song, I Believe in You,
it's very good.
I mean, it has, I'm talking about God tier.
Yeah.
Like, it is.
I mean, I don't know how much more you can say than God tier. It's pretty good.
And if you ever had to go away, nothing in my world could ever be the same. Nothing lasts forever, but together till then, I'll give you everything I am again and again. 'Cause I believe in you, I believe in you.
Yeah, I loved it. And then from there, I got the ultimate Kylie. It was like it wasn't one of the first greatest hits, but it was
like a compilation.
It's a famous one. And I can very clearly remember listening to it driving to Florida when I was moving to come here for school. And I remember being in the car with Andrew and listening to it and stuff. And I ordered a couple of concert DVD. It was just kind of a standard. She was like a
very
constant,
gradual kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then aside from, like I said, the I Believe in You being just like, mwah, the big one for me when I knew there was no turning back was X.
Yes. Okay.
Take it away.
Cut to me. No, I remember because I think you told me about it.
Mm-hmm.
You like knew it was happening and you told me about it.
Well, I went to Italy and it was already out in Italy.
Yeah.
So I bought the CD and came home before it was released in America.
And you told me about it, and I was in South Carolina at the time, and so I went out and bought it, and I was obsessed with the album art. The album art, oh my God. She is, but it's like the eyeshadow, and she's got jewels on her, and her hair is ridiculous, and her nails are ridiculous. It's incredible.
It's like
obsessed.
Those, when you would go to the salon in 1991 and they had those like sun-bleached posters in the window.
Of the ladies with the nails.
Yeah, and the zigzags across the face and stuff. And it was
only classy.
Well, I was going to say it was somehow retro, but also futuristic.
It's very good. Because there's a red one and a blue one, and it's, oh God.
She's got like the eyelashes with like the webbing.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And
I think one of them has feathers. I think the blue one has feathers. So I was like hard obsessed with that. And then I
forgot it was just you hadn't even gotten to the album.
I hadn't even gotten to the album.
You were sold just on, this was pre-Gaga.
Yeah. I sincerely was sold on just the album art. I brought that CD to my job at the hotel and I showed all the other front desk girls. I was like, this is incredible. So then I started listening to the album and I really love most of it. Nudity is not
nude.
It's not good. I love Kylie. It's not good.
She has one of those like every 5 years.
Yeah.
Because there's one called Skirt that's terrible, and there's one called New York City.
Yeah.
And they're awful.
So I did like most of them though. To this day, Two Hearts is one of them. It's
such a departure for her though.
That's the thing, and it's a song I don't like ever stop thinking about. It's like kind of always there because it was so out of nowhere for me. Like I didn't know I wanted that type of music. It's like a rockabilly song also. It's like I didn't know I wanted that. I didn't know I wanted it from her, and I didn't know I wanted it then.
Well, I was coming off my Gold Frap wave, and it was very Gold Frap.
It is a little Gold Frappy.
Round about this point, Britney had re-entered the picture, or had entered the picture as well, re-entered for me.
Yeah.
And we were all just sort of ready for like, kind of like a cool, bluesy, punky, rocky. Yeah. And she had the microphone.
It's like a
the
skull.
It's a skull microphone with like black diamonds all over it. And she has the tight pin curls.
She almost is like dressed up like Marilyn Monroe a little.
This is also the heyday of the Louboutin.
Yes. Oh my God. Those red shoes are like, they were like, this piano has to be black as night so that you can see the red shoes. And then it's like almost every other song on that album, because it's it's two hearts and it's speakerphone and it's wow and it's all I see, isn't it?
Mhm.
It's just
In your eyes.
In your eyes. I love all of those.
Like a drug.
Yeah, so this was the moment for me where I was like, oh yes, this is happening. And it was because this is 07?
It was not in your eyes.
In your arms.
No, in your eyes. In your arms. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not in your eyes. Sorry.
It's 07, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it came out after I had been to Europe.
Mhm.
And I had taken those pictures of her H&M campaign for you because they were like all over the like amphitheaters and stuff.
Because I remember they even had those in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
There was like a period of time where...
So I like knew her name and I obviously knew Can't Get You Out of My Head, but I was not as a huge a fan and I knew that you loved her. And so I saw her billboards and stuff in Europe and I was like, well, I'm going to take these pictures for Will. And then I sent them to you. And then I got back and this album came out and I was like, no, yeah, So I've been on this train with you for that long, since 2007.
So, yeah, I was a big fan. And like I said, there was a part of me, I've even been called contrarian. There was a part of me that really loved the fact that like my favorite thing, because there's so many, it's like, if you're gay and, you know, the 40 or something, then it's Madonna, and then under 40 it's Britney, and it's like, don't get me wrong, I love Britney. Yeah. I like Madonna. It's always annoyed me when people like when you ask people what their favorite movie, book, or food like thing is, I'm sort of like, there are some answers that I don't consider valid. It's like, what's your favorite flavor? Chocolate? Get the fuck out. Like nobody, I'm like, tell me something about yourself. Sure. And maybe chocolate was a bad excuse, but we've talked about it frequently where it's like, if people say Christmas is their favorite holiday and all that stuff. And so when what's your favorite movie? And someone's like, The Godfather. And it's like,
who's your favorite director? Steven Spielberg.
Well, precisely. And I'm like, no shit. Everybody's favorite.
Everybody loves Steven Spielberg.
Yeah. Everybody likes Christmas. You get a bunch of presents. Who doesn't fucking love Christmas?
For instance, I like Valentine's Day.
And I've always liked Thanksgiving and 4th of July, but now I go whole hog for Midsummer. So it's like, I'm like, tell me something about you with your taste. And so I always really kind of, that was some of it too, was I just sort of committed to it to the point where every so often I'll wonder and be like, do I really like Kylie that much?
You do. She's very good.
Or did I just commit to this so hard?
You're like actively fighting your brain. Your brain is like, this song sounds terrible. And you're like, it's the best.
Well, I've admitted, because remember when Kiss Me Once came out and you and Will were like, how was it? And I was like, it's not
That's the thing
good.
is like everybody has missteps, but it's the same thing where it's like, I can agree that Madonna is pivotal. Mm-hmm. Like, I love Madonna, especially early Madonna. That stuff is pivotal. But it's like, I would never say she's my favorite pop star. Like, that doesn't. There's not enough there for me that I can't like emotionally connect with most of it.
Mm-hmm. Again, to bring it up, because I said this at the top of the episode, but it's like, she has this way of merging this trashy quality, or this like really like sort of glamour, like old Hollywood classy thing with just a hair of trashy. Like, because we talked about it earlier, but she wore a dress one time in concert and it like laced down the back, and like the lacing went far, like to like mid thigh, and her butt's just hanging out.
Her butt's just out there.
And she
does have a great butt though.
She's wore several sheer tops and stuff, and it's like it felt very.
We got some nips in that one with Rutger Hauer. Yeah,
it felt very European to me, and I felt very sort of like sophisticated. And all of this is before Aphrodite.
That's correct.
I was obsessed with Greek mythology when I was a kid.
Well, also just the like album art for that one too is quite good.
I don't think you can see it on camera.
No,
I don't think it's not in my camera.
Well, we'll put it here as well.
I can't.
Don't do it. You're gonna break
your crashing down.
You're gonna break your Saint Madeline Petch.
And there was just something so specific. Because Aphrodite was my favorite goddess. I was that kid.
No.
And I was like, man, it couldn't have been, it was like kismet. It couldn't have been more. Yeah. And then.
What was it, like 09?
10.
10, yeah.
Because it came out the summer of 10. And I was home, and my mom and I went to Philadelphia to see that awesome Cleopatra Museum exhibit. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we listened to it the whole way. And it was like a masterpiece. Like, Aphrodite is such. It's like her golden album.
Yeah.
Like it is her.
Not the one called Golden.
No. I love Golden. Golden is actually really
I love
slept
Golden
on.
too. Yeah.
I think it's incredible. But
It's like we had like 4 albums in a row that were like so good like that, and it was like Golden and Golden Hour, which are both right there, and then
what was the country? We really liked Joanne.
Yeah.
We liked Miley's.
Miley's.
I can't think of the name.
Well,
of it.
Malibu was really good.
Yeah.
I don't know what
It was that album. I can't think of the name of it.
And then I would say sort of culminating with Folklore for me. But yeah.
I don't know what my favorite Kylie song is. I frequently say there's about 5 that vacillate. There's a top 5. I guess, gun to my head, I would have to say All the Lovers. Would you?
All the
For
Lovers
me,
is-
would you?
For you, I think yes. I don't know if I can pick for me, although the one that I can never skip when it comes on my playlist is All I See Is You, or All I See.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I love it so much. I usually turn it off when it gets to the Mims part.
Well, he's only in the American version.
Yeah, but I just, the whole cadence of the song, and it's just like, it's really sweet. It's like a really sweet love song. I like it. I mean, it's hard to pick a favorite.
I think All the Lovers. I mean, I Believe in You is a contender. I really actually should have gone ahead and tried, because it's like at a certain point we also just watched so many music videos that it's all kind of
it's all blurring together.
Yeah, let me try something.
That one with Robbie Williams was fun though.
Love Robbie Williams is a scoundrel, a rapscallion. I never really kind of got it. Is it just about a couple staying together for the kids?
Oh, I wasn't paying attention to the lyrics.
It's called Kids and doing it for the kids.
Oh, maybe.
Although it has one of my favorite lyrics. Like, it's an exchange. It used to be my Facebook quotes and stuff. He goes, "You can't just up and leave me. I'm a singer in a band." And she goes, "Well, I like drummers, baby. You're not my man." And I remember being like, "Shat."
That's. I do also really like Raining Glitter.
You do love
From Golden. Raining Glitter is so good.
Because I would honestly like, for its place in culture, Can't Get You Out of My Head is up there, but it's not in my top 10.
I don't know that it's in my top 10. I think what's fascinating about that song is it's the type of thing where it's like the Natasha Bedingfield thing, which she said, where she was like, I couldn't have tried to write that song. Like it's so, something about it is so perfect. And it's sort of the like song that never ends thing, where it just really is an earworm and it gets stuck up in there. But it's like almost everything about it, the beat, the like melody, the harmony, the lyrics, it's like, it's very good. And then you can't watch it without getting the visual of her in that white jumpsuit cut up to the hips.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know one that's up there for you is Into the Blue.
Oh, yes.
That you love Into the Blue.
I love Into the Blue.
I don't care if the world is mine, 'cause this is all I know. When I got my back up against the wall, don't need no one to rescue me, 'cause I ain't waiting up for no miracle. Yeah, tonight I'm running free.
Because you were at the gym.
I was at the gym.
When I sent it to you.
Yeah.
I just like texted it to you, and you like texted me back that you were full blown just like dancing at the gym.
Well, I was dancing at the gym, but then it was like, I pick really weird songs to like pump me up. And so I would just like put that on and get on the elliptical and go. Yeah.
It's a good one.
It's a good one. She gets really high on it. And I can't. That's the thing, is I like to sing along in the car, and I can't match her on that one.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I think it's between All the Lovers and Into the Blue, or I Believe in You, but especially for you, for me. The video for All the Lovers, we'll have to pull a clip.
It is wild.
It was really good, you just want more. Even if it throws you to the fire, 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 fire. All the lovers that have gone before, they don't compare to you.
actually makes me like emotional.
Yeah, it's very.
Because I remember showing it for someone one time and he made some kind of like comment about it, like it was kinky or whatever. And I was like,
no.
No. I was like, I mean, yes, this is a pyramid. It's like
sensual.
But I mean, they're literally wearing white underwear.
Yeah.
Like, it's like there's like a pyramid of lovers, of like people of all, you know, races, creeds, codes, sexualities, genders, whatever. Like, and it's like her mere presence just like brings people to like rapturous joy.
Yeah.
And then like a postmodern Aphrodite, she is born from this sea of lovers.
She is.
And it's kind of heavy-handed with the symbolism, but it's like good symbolism.
It works.
It has I could not remember the publication, but it was like a high up reputable publication, was like, it has one of the most like euphoric bridges of any pop song.
It's beautifully done. That like riff that goes through it is really, really good.
And the sentiment, I just love the something because there's a wisdom to it. And it's that, like I said, I mean, in spite of the fact that it's littered with naked bodies, it's like
naked.
Well, again, like I said, they're wearing underwear, but I just love it. And then Get Out of My Way is now talk about a video. That video is fucking phenomenal. What?
Which one was it?
Get Out of My. We didn't watch it.
Oh, okay.
But it's like she's got the blonde's corset, that gold chainmail corset.
Okay.
And then she has the gloves with the lights in them, and she's like laying on that like floor thing. It's so good.
I think that's what I like so much about her is I think specifically because she flew under the radar, especially in America for so long, I think she's able to do more creative stuff where like we talked a little bit about Madonna earlier, and with the exception of a couple of recent things, she's been trying to do this thing where she's like overtly sexy, and it's like, Madge, you're 60. You pull back a little.
Well, but she's also, it's not about being sexy. It's about being young for her.
Sure. You're trying to be young sexy. And it's like, it's a little embarrassing. And I feel like so far, Kylie has not really fallen into that. Because I think she always keeps it on the right side of classy. And I feel you can tell that she is trying to be sexy, but she's not trying to be younger than she is.
I mean, we're getting there. We're at a very crucial, I think
we're at a crossroads.
We're at a crossroads. I think her vanity like supersedes the embarrassment. Like, I think she's vain enough to be self-aware. Sure.
And I also think that it's a good, I mean, Golden and then this upcoming album Disco, I think that's trending in the right direction for a 52-year-old woman, where it's like Golden was very like gauzy and breezy and like it's obviously still very sexy, but it's like in the correct direction. And then Disco is like she's going back to her roots essentially, and I think it's well, and I always found her to be such an interesting presence because there was a documentary there's not a lot, but there was a documentary, Homecoming, about her. And it was after she had to cancel. She was on a major tour and she had to cancel a bunch of dates with her breast cancer endeavor. Yeah. And I remember. Endeavor's a weird word. Well, I was going to say scare. And I was like, well, it's more than a scare. Sure. Yeah. Diagnosis. And treatment. Just endeavor. But in the documentary, she was like, I've always resisted doing a documentary like this before because she was like, I'm afraid people are going to find out that I'm really boring. Sure. And it made me realize that she does not give us much at all. I kind of like it. Yeah, you can put onto her. And it's like, because being the fan that I am, I've listened to and watched and bought, all of the concert CDs and DVDs, and I've watched them on YouTube and stuff. And it's like, when she interacts with the audience,
it is verbatim every single time. But she does it in a way that feels genuine, like the way that she flirts with the audience and the way that it's like a mask that she puts on.
Well, yeah. And it's like, that's the type of thing I kind of aspire to, something like that, to just being like, you don't know how boring I am. I'm pretty boring. When I'm not doing this, I just sit around. I kind of love it. I'm just like, let her be a person in her private life, and then you get this thing in public. And I think more famous people should subscribe to that.
And I did want to say the concerts was actually the way that, because obviously I joined this journey in 2001 with Fever, and the way I went back was watching the concerts, because she would do several. She did one. It was the first time she performed in America in ages. So I want to say it was 2009, and it was like live in New York, and it was huge. It is an excellent concert. It is such a good concert. It's like, with the exception of the fact that it doesn't have anything from, it like ends at X. So Aphrodite is like not on it. It would be perfect. And she did a couple montages of her older songs, and that's where they got under my skin, because some of my favorites are the old ones. Yeah. Like Better the Devil You Know.
That's a good one. That's a really good one.
That shocked. I'm like, you played
get
out of my way.
You played a bunch of them. The one with the blonde boy.
Especially for you, Jason Donovan.
It was just funny. It was so funny. And to the point where we were sitting down for this, and I was like, I really, really right now wish that I had an acid wash jean jacket. It's like all I want to be wearing.
Well, and like
right
we love I Should Be So Lucky.
Yeah.
And it's just...
They are aggressively Australian. Like, leaving even aside the fact that like the Opera House is in one of them, they feel distinctly not American, like not an American music video. And I find it so charming and hilarious. It's very funny.
So with my journey, I have, because roundabout after Aphrodite, I was like, if I'm going to be on this train, then let me be on this train.
Yeah.
So I went back and I have Impossible.
Do the locomotion?
I have Impossible Princess and I have Light Years. And I actually just straight love both of those. Light Years is fascinating because it's a little bit, it was 2000 when it came out, and it's a little bit like Fever, and it's a little bit sort of like modern pop.
Okay.
But it has this kind of corny, still 90s cheesy quality.
Okay.
Because it starts with like... or maybe it ends with Light Years. I can't remember if it starts or ends with the song Light Years, but it's like an announcement from like KM Airways. And, but it's like you're like on a plane, but you're going to outer space.
Okay.
And I fucking eat that shit
You're
up.
like,
And she has the Love Boat. She has Cuckoo Cuckoo. She's got like just weird, fucking weird songs.
Yeah.
But it's the one that Spinning Around is on.
Oh, okay.
And In Your Eyes. And In Your Arms and In Your Eyes, I have a hard time with.
In Your Arms is from
X. So I do want to go back. I don't have the like first 4 albums, and I feel like I need to. I've listened to them. Yeah, I've listened to them on Spotify, but I have not like physically owned. But I did want to say that another thing, because again, this is more of a broad conversation, but she also has this unique quality where some of her like biggest bangers are songs that she just releases that aren't tied to an album, because I Believe in You wasn't connected to an album. I mean, I think it was Ultimate Kylie, but she has one of her best songs, and one of my favorite pop songs ever is Time Bomb.
Wait. Just don't make me wait.
I also really, really love, it's a song called Boombox, and it's like the LA Knights remix or something. I don't know why. I think it was on a random, because for a while there, I think I have like 3 of her greatest hits albums because if I just saw a Kylie album, I was like, click.
Yeah, I got
it. And they do remixes and stuff, but they released it. It was like one of those unreleased tracks, and I fucking love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, God, there was so much because even just right here, remember she was on the Giorgio Moroder album, the Right Here, Right Now.
Yeah, that was good.
All else but right here, right now.
That was really good. I forgot about that. I was like,
well, because she also, it was like 5 years ago. She did a really, really weird. I wish I had like interspersed these more because I do want to pull a few samples from them. But she did this really, really weird EP. I always forget the difference between an EP and an LP. Well, one of them's long and one of them's short. And it's like an extended play, but then I'm like, but is the L long play? And I can't remember, but it was like 4 tracks with the French musician Garaby. And she did one with, of all people, in the year 2016, Shaggy. I played it for you because you like it. It's called Photograph.
Yeah.
And I don't know. She's so game and she's so euphoric. And it's just like, she's never let me down.
That's the thing.
That's the center.
That's the real thing. That is the center of the Shrubbery Maze, because she was old enough when you first got into her, and she came of age as a young person in a totally different time. And so it's like, through no fault of their own, the pop stars when we were young, when they were the right age,
2000 was a rough decade
have had
for celebrity.
a tough time. Like Britney has had a tough time to the point where we have talked about it before, and our, like, I mean, it's not both of our favorites. It's definitely my favorite, but we both agree that Blackout is one of her stronger albums, and she was in the midst of a disaster, you know? But it's like,
well, I've also found out since that, because I didn't know this at the time, but Blackout, she pretty much did herself.
Right.
I thought that they just engineered it around her.
So did I.
But no, the label just was like, I don't know what she's doing. And she just made it and brought it to them.
It's so good. But that's the thing about Kylie, is I think she came around and she got famous. And it also, like what you said about how she just was like, yeah, whatever, I guess I'll do a record deal. It feels like she didn't have a stake in it. You know, like she just was like, and then it worked out. And she was like, oh, well, I'll keep going. So it's a lot more grounded, and it feels a lot more purposeful in a way.
She fell into a 90 million albums globally career.
You know, like you do. But it has reached a point where it feels a lot more deliberate and grounded. And now she is like, or, you know, for the last 15 years, she's been like, no, this is what I'm doing. And it's on purpose, and she's old enough, and she hasn't had like the globally personal missteps that these other girls did, and despite having
she is very unlucky in love.
She is unlucky in love, but despite having a handful of songs that are like, she consistently delivers cohesively wonderful albums that I'm just like, yeah, I'll stan you forever. Like, I don't know what to say. Plus, she acts sometimes.
I was going to say we didn't even get to that.
And it's a great deal of fun to watch her pop up in San Andreas with fave of the show, Carla Gugino.
Oh, I was like, The Rock? I like The Rock.
But then she also was in that episode of Gallivant, which was very good.
Yeah, she's been randomly, we talked about Moulin Rouge, and she's in Biodome. She's one of the 2 nurses.
Yeah.
She's got red hair in that. But I remember it was like a while ago, my mom was watching it in the living room, and I walked out and I was like, what is this? And she's in Biodome. And I said, you know, Kylie Minogue is in this, right? And my mom goes, what? And I turned and looked at the screen, and I said, that is her right there. And my mom was like, oh my God. Like, I don't know.
And obviously, I've never seen it, but she's the one that's in Street Fighter, right? Yeah.
Cammy
in Street.
She's in a movie that's apparently really good. It's super fucking weird, called Holy Motors. I've never seen it, but I want to.
That's an Australian movie, right?
Maybe. Eva Mendes is in it.
Oh, then maybe not.
Everything I've seen, it's like very strange, but I think it has like good reviews and stuff. And she has a very unfortunate wig.
Oh, that's too bad.
It's like she's very plain looking.
I don't know how you make that face plain looking. She's got such a face, though. It's such a good.
You talk about the teeth.
She's got such good teeth. I really like her teeth because there's like a little gap on the side, like in between her front tooth and her second tooth. But it's so small and you can only see it when she's like shot from that side. I don't know. Her teeth are very charming.
She also gives very good reaction gif. There's a lot. Because she's hammy that way. But yeah, you know, I wanted a lot from this episode, and I don't know if I delivered it. I don't think I delivered all of it. But like I said, we could easily
just an ongoing series of 40-minute Kylie Minogue episodes.
Well, I mean, I would get into more specifics and stuff. But yeah, we'll see where any of this goes. Yeah. And if you don't know, catch wise. I don't know. Get in.
If you don't know Kylie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go
just.
It's on Spotify.
Search Kylie Minogue on Spotify and just hit "This is Kylie Minogue" and go nuts. It's great.
I love it. So yeah, I mean, I think that's good for me for now.
Yeah, and let us know if you do want us to deep dive.
Well, we did say, sorry, you had things to say. Shit, what video was it that you had things to say about? Was it that Can't Get You Out of My Head?
I think I did say it.
And then we did have the full conversation about her one Grammy is for "Come Into My World," and you were. You were like, I don't think I've even heard this song.
Unacceptable. Because
it's a good video.
So we were watching the video and I was like, well, was it like did the Grammys do videos? Was it a video award? And you were like, maybe. And I was like, no, just like best dance pop song or some shit. She also hasn't been nominated for a Grammy in 11 years. Mm-hmm. Unacceptable. That's so unacceptable.
We didn't talk about the Aphrodite tour, but that could be its own thing.
Yeah.
So
that's one we saw, right?
Yeah. But, well, we saw. She stood in front of the Hard Rock.
We saw it in America.
We saw the American version with
not even like good
with
America.
3 of the 5 screens.
Yeah, not even at good America. We saw it in the Orlando Hard Rock Cafe.
So go ahead and cut me off.
All right, so yeah, let us know if you want us to cover more Kylie, because we're obviously happy to do some deep dives on albums for sure. And then you can follow us on Twitter at So I'm Watching, Instagram at So I'm Watching This Show. You can also follow along on our website, soimwatching.com, which links out to everything, including the YouTube, which is youtube.com/soimwatching, and you can subscribe right over here. And then, yeah, other than that, just rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen. And that's it for us. Bye.